Good morning, Israel. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Believers, all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, the Heavenly Father, the only begotten Son, the Holy Spirit. JD Niger, Word of Truth channel. Subscribe if you haven't, if you like studying the Bible. And we do it every morning. Then you can watch it whatever time you want. You can you can listen to it while you go to sleep. I try not to yell so you can fall asleep. No, I can't help it. I yell a lot. Sorry. I do. I'm calm today, though. So if you like talking about the Bible or listening to someone talk about the Bible, I've been blessed with a little bit of understanding and been graced with a few gifts of understanding and wisdom. Not so much wisdom. If I could get the wisdom part, I'd be great. But anyhow, the last video we were in Psalm 7, and Psalm 7 is about David praying for protection, singing a psalm to the Lord, protection from Cush the Benjamite. And some of these names, I think that's why. Let me say this real quick, and then I'll get going on what I wanted to say. Cush the Benjamite. For some reason, these translations, sometimes the names, that the translation got lost because they were trying to have you or have me or have the reader understand something deeper than just one particular person. So when it says Cush the Benjamite, it speaks of multiple. It speaks about an enemy that is Benjamin, but it's hard to put a name on something that's not particularly a person. And that's why when we think of the name of the Lord, Yahweh, the Tetragrammaton, Yahweh Vave, the unspeakable name, we don't call him Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai because that's rude. That's like calling your dad by his name, Billy. You don't do it. And so right off the bat, GMS has some kind of problems with their mind because they think they can just come up with some name for God and start telling everyone that's the real name and trying to push that on people. The Bible, the God of this Bible isn't that guy. Sorry to say, GMS, but you missed the boat. You guys are really heading for a bad crash, fucking shipwreck. But anyway, this Cush guy, Cush, the Benjamite. There's one place in the Bible that I know where it says he protection from the words. Let me go back there. Make sure I got this right. See, the words are important. That's why it's called Word of Truth. Because what I do on this channel is I break down the meaning of these words. The Bible isn't as easy as you would think. You have to have the cheat sheet. There is a cheat sheet. There is some things that are missing from everyday church teaching. Man, people speed through here. These guys need to write more tickets for speeding in the state park. It's a dangerous thing, and it's irritating too. This is supposed to be where you come in and you feel safe. these guys that speed around here do not make me feel safe. It says, a plea for protection from enemies, Shiggaion of David. One. What's the Shiggaion? Might as well get it. Little. Oh, wow. Okay. B16. 2 Samuel B16. Yeah, I was right. It was Shimei. Cush is Shimei. Or so they think, because down here it says they're not sure who Cush the Benjamite is, but in the reference, it references to where I'm going, so I was correct. I was right. The Shiggaion is the title. Gosh, should we go to Habakkuk 3:1? That might be a difficult thing. Let's just move on. It's probably an instrument of some kind. Sorry. That's why I'm such a good Bible student. I have a hard time not investigating. I'm an investigator when it comes to this book. I love finding out the truth. So anyway, exactly where I went to, it's Samuel 16, 2 Samuel 16. So it is Shimei, because what it says is, which he sang unto the Lord concerning the words. I think I've done this message before. Concerning the words of Cush the Benjamite. And this story has been on my mind for I've studied this one for 20 years. Because there's something very interesting that happens in this story between David and this Benjamite. So in 2 Samuel 16, it starts off with Ziba deceives David. Ziba was of the house of Benjamin, and he was a servant of Mephibosheth. And they thought King Saul was going to be able to keep reigning, and they were pissed off at David. And this started that whole Judah versus Benjamin trip for the kingship, Saul versus David. And what happened is David was going through that territory where these Benjamites were, and he was trying to get back to Jerusalem or something like that. He was making movement, and he was trying to probably consolidate his kingdom, and he was looking for Absalom at the same time, because Absalom, he was fighting two fronts. He was fighting against his own son, and he was fighting against these fucking jealous Benjamites. And then the king, this is verse 4:16. Then the king said to Ziba, behold, thine are all that pertain unto Mephibosheth. And Ziba said, I humbly beseech thee that I may find grace in thy sight, O Lord my king. O Lord my king, my Lord my king. Verse 5, and when King David came to Bahurim, behold, thence came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, the son of Jerah. He came forth and cursed as he came, still as he came. Still just means continuously. Motherfucking son of a bitch, you prick, punk, fucking jackass. Maybe that's where I get it. That's what Benjamites do. Listen, listen. And he cast stones at David, and all the servants of King David, and all the people, and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left. And thus said Shimei when he cursed, come out, thou bloody man, and you man of Belial. That is a bloodthirsty reprobate. You bloodthirsty reprobate. Question. Is Shimei lying? Is that cursing Benjamite? Is he lying? No, he's not lying. I don't know about reprobate, but to a point, yes. Bloodthirsty for sure. The Lord didn't let David build the temple because he was bloodthirsty. So when it says, and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left, I'm not sure if they're talking about on King David's sides or on Shimei's side. But basically it's saying there was a lot of mighty dudes there. There was a lot of people there seeing this go on. And thus said Shimei when he cursed, come out, you bloody man, you reprobate. The Lord has returned upon thee all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned, and the Lord has delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom your son. And behold, you are taken in thy mischief, because you are a bloody man. Right? True. So listen what it says. This is I'm still trying to figure out exactly how this fits together, but I'll give you my interpretation. What I've gleaned over 20 years of reading this story. David refuses to kill Shimei. Then said Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, unto the king, why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go over, I pray thee, and take off his head. So Zeruiah's like, I'm going to kill that fucking Benjamite, that son of a bitch. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of his fucking channel. I'm tired of his fallen angels. I'm tired of... tired of his Benjamite bullshit. Right? Tired of it. That's what I'm designed to do. I'm designed to stir you up. Bob Marley said it best. Stir it up, little darling. Stir it up. I'm here to steer your spirit up, your soul. So what did David say? Interesting. Still not exactly sure, but I'll give you my breakdown, and then I'm going to go to work. Because this one has fucked me up for a long time, and it still fucks me up. I don't know why the Lord brought me here, but here I be. Verse 10, 16, Cush the Benjamite, Shimei. The words of Cush the Benjamite, the words. Protect me from the words of this wicked Benjamite. Didn't even see wicked, just protection from the words of Cush the Benjamite. So what is this saying? It's saying words have meaning, words have power. That's why we have to be very careful when we teach the Bible that we don't speak carelessly, recklessly, like a lot of people do. They take this book like it's some fucking novel off the shelf, and they start pontificating on their fucking biased bullshit and throwing out their own themes and their own thoughts. not a very prudent fucking position to take. So anyway, let's get to it. And the king said, What have I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah? He's rebuking Zeruiah. So let him curse, because the Lord has said unto him, Curse David. Who shall then say, Wherefore hast thou done so? What did he tell him? Shut the hell up, Zeruiah. What do I have to do with you? The Lord told Cush, Shimei, the Benjamite, he told him to curse me. Oh, this is a hard one, people. Sorry. Fuck it. Well, of course the Lord would do this to me on a Monday. I'm gonna have to meditate on this today a little bit too, myself. Because the Lord has said to him, Curse David, who shall then say, Wherefore hast thou done so? And then David continues, And David said to Abishai and to all his servants, Behold, my son, which came forth of my bowels, seeks my life. How much more now may this Benjamite do it? Let him alone and let him curse, for the Lord has bidden him. For one, what do I have to learn? I have to learn that part of my heritage is to speak. Sometimes curses. Do you think that's a nice thing to know? King David said, these Benjamites, man, they have power in their words. That's why David was praying in Psalm 7. Protect me from the words of the Benjamite. I take this shit seriously, people. I know that's me, because I know you see how I am. My eyes are going fucking foggy. I feel like my head's gonna pop right now. It may be that the Lord will look on mine affliction, and that the Lord will requite me. He might forgive me. He'll give me good for his cursing this day. Is Benjamin like Satan? What's David saying? He's saying, maybe this is something I need to look at. Maybe he's telling me something I need to know. Maybe, just maybe, his cursing is for my own good. Do you understand? This is how I know. This is how we know that not every bad thing that happens to you, and not every wicked person that comes against you, is doing it. He's going to turn that evil into good. And so, man, I could go back into that asshole this weekend. What was it yesterday? The guy on the radio saying, Joseph had pride. That's why Joseph, he should have never told his brothers about that dream he had, that they were going to bow to him. He was full of pride. Fucking so off the hook wrong. It doesn't even, it mind boggles me. This fucker had the nerve to say Joseph was full of pride. He was so innocent. He didn't know his brothers were going to be a bunch of assholes and throw him in the pit and fucking leave him for dead. Oh man, sometimes I want to just fucking crawl through the phone and fucking sock these fuckers up, man. How dare they talk about Joseph that way? He was full of pride. Fucker. This is when I start cursing, when I hear the nonsense. Anyway, let's see what else it says. And as David and his men went by the way, Shimei went along on the hillside over against him, and cursed as he went, and threw stones at him, and cast dust. And the king and all the people that were with him came weary and refreshed themselves there. And Absalom and all the people and the men of Israel came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel was with him. And it came to pass when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, was come unto Absalom, so on, so forth. The thrust of the lesson here is what is it about affliction that sharpens us? What is it about sword against sword? I want you to understand, one sword against another sword, they sharpen one another. Two swords clashing at each other only serve to sharpen one another. So these clashes between David and Saul and Benjamin and Judah, the bottom line is what happened. This war between Judah and Benjamin, my two peoples, I'm of both. That's why I'm so blessed. It all ended up in this field of swords, the 4 and 24 elders. And see, these are things no one talks about because they don't know. No one knows who the 24 elders are, except you people and me. Secret information, people. Who are the 24 and 24 elders? That's the 12 men of Benjamin and the 12 men of Judah that fought when King David and I forget who was leading Benjamin at that time. There's always someone that stands up for Benjamin, but it's somewhere in Kings or Samuel. I'm not gonna find it right now. I could. But the field of swords. They called it the field of swords because these men of Judah and these men of Benjamite, they went out to play 12 against 12. And when they went out to play with swords in their hands, they grabbed each other by the hair and they thrust each other through. And they all fell down together. So when you think of this Benjamite thing, this word of truth, this channel, this trying to make a clarity in your mind somehow, and in my own mind, of what it means to be sharp in the Lord. Are you willing to hear the truth? Are you willing to speak the truth? The words are important. David said, protect me from the words of Benjamin. And he said, let him curse. He might be fixing me up. he may be telling me something I need to know. And so when I tell these Black Hebrew Israelites, and I tell Jay Hall, and I tell whoever's listening, or the channels I go on, Tony Baloney, Street Ministers for Christ, Casey from Enter the Stars, man, you better watch it. I have some truth for you. Can you believe it? Or are you going to keep talking your fucking nonsense? David was smart enough to listen to the Benjamite. David was smart enough to listen to the Benjamite. He respected the words of the Lord's anointed. Don't get it twisted, people. I'm here for you. Don't take offense. GMS, you guys, it's too late for you. Tony Baloney, if you guys don't want to listen, that's fine. But the Lord's going to have it on record that I fucking cursed you. And what'd you do? You weren't like King David. You didn't listen to the curses of the Benjamite. JD Niger, Word of Truth. If you want to study the Bible for real, what can I do for you? I'm here every day. Peace out.